I'm here with Thom Clark of the this Community Media Workshop. And Thom, why don't we, in our closing moments, or a minute or two or three or four, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Community Media Workshop and what you see as going on in the media here in town, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful.
Well, what's interesting to me after doing this work for the last 20 years or so is in this shifting media landscape, how much journalists losing their jobs and what's happening with so-called mainstream media has become itself such a big news story. The internet, simply put, has had a tremendous impact on the way all of us get information and how we pay for it, which means mostly nothing. So hardworking journalists who, many of whom, unless you worked for a Tribune or a major network, have always had to rely on kind of more of a freelance existence, and that's more the case than ever when you have bloggers and citizen journalists putting out content for free. At the workshop, we find ourselves helping nonprofit communicators understand how to use the tools of the web, because pitching the Tribune when there aren't many reporters left there to pitch is really a game changer. We, in fact, are marking 20 years of doing this work this coming Thursday with our second annual nitty-gritty pub crawl. We're visiting 3 sites downtown on Thursday night from 5 to 8, where journalists used to hang out in the old days. Billy Goats.
I couldn't believe you included that after that guy was such a Bushite.
Well, you know.
I saw the invitation, and I'm really thinking I'd like to come. Go ahead.
We have Rick Kogan, who's going to greet people at Billy Goats. We have Hank DeZutter, my partner, co-founder of the Community Media Workshop, and a founder of the Chicago Journalism Review at the old Ricardo's, now Stefani's 437 North Rush. And we'll end the show that evening at Andy's Jazz Club, which is also where we had our first ever Studs Terkel Community Awards benefit, which is why we're going back there. And then later in the month, we are trying to bring all our tribes together. That is journalists and publishers and funders and nonprofit communicators and bloggers and social media mavens to CommuniCamp. October 29th at Columbia College, we're having what is known as an unconference, an open space meeting where everyone's the expert. You have something you want to say about the new media and where it's going, or how you as a citizen journalist want to participate in chronicling what's going on in your community or your city. Please join us on October 29th at CommuniCamp at Columbia College, where we're going to talk about the future of journalism and media.
How about giving the Live from the Heartland listeners a little info about how they would find out more about your activities?
Newstips.org, our robust website where you can get all the information you need about our upcoming training events, our brand new media guide that's just out, bigger than ever, newstips.org or communitymediaworkshop.org, where we run all our blogs. You can also call us in our new offices at Columbia College at 312-369-6400. Give us a call and we'll send you out the latest information.
Well, Thom Clark, before I let you go and off to your Notre Dame-Washington game, you had mentioned the Studs Terkel Award that your organization gives out every year, and you were a good friend of Studs Terkel, and I wondered if you could say a few words about Studs and how he was right up to the end.
Well, we're coming up on the first anniversary of Studs passing at the end of the month on Halloween, a few days before our historic election last year. One quick story I'll tell that a lot of people don't know was how anxious and attentive Studs was to the whole election cycle last time. As someone who had John Edwards visiting his home, Dennis Kucinich used to always visit his home. Dennis was always Studs' real favorite to run and win for presidency. But he also followed this guy from the South Side who had actually never met but was intrigued with because he was an organizer, Barack Obama.
Right.
And he was, you know, once Barack emerged from the primaries and survived the Hillary onslaught, Studs was, you know, full square behind him. Unfortunately, in his failing health, he ended up having to vote by the absentee ballot. And the ballot got there a little late. The morning that Studs passed away, Halloween Day, just a few days before the election, is when the absentee ballot arrived at his home, and he never had a chance to cast it. So the one election he probably had paid the most attention to, the one where his candidate would have won, as opposed to a lot of other elections before that
He
that,
lost.
you know, we didn't win. He didn't have a chance to cast his ballot.
Well, we know that he was there in spirit, and he's still with us, and he is actually on this very same stage at one time. And one of these days, I'm going to dig out the pictures, and we'll see a picture of Studs here at the Heartland.
Studs, we miss you.